Okay, I hope you had fun playing some games. Let's get off the games and let's get back to work. Let's set up a hard drive and install Amiga OS. Let's take your SD card out and head over to the PC and put in your PC. Okay, go ahead and put your SD card in the reader. Let's minimize this, move this over out of the way. Going forward in this series, there's going to be a few times that we're going to need to use WinUAE, which is the Amiga emulator for Windows. You're going to need to know the basic functionality of WinUAE. There's a few tools and a few times here that we're going to need to use it. So we're going to create a hard drive image here, or HDF file. So let's go ahead and click Add Hard File. And down here, we're going to create a new hard disk image file. And we want to make it 2 gigabyte. I don't recommend going over 2 gigabyte. Not even 4 gigabyte, which is commonly done, but some old installers and some old programs actually have difficulty above 2 gigabytes. So let's just keep it there. And let's click Create. Let's aim it at the SD card, the M partition, and let's call it Workbench. And let's save. And it's done. It went fine. You can go over here and even see, there it is. Yep, we're good. Okay, so for the moment we're done with WinUAE. Let's copy the rest of the install disk images to our M partition on the SD card. Okay, let's copy it over. Looks like we already have disk 1. Let's copy disk 2, disk 3, disk 4, disk 5, and disk 6. Okay, let's eject the SD card, head back over to the Commodore. Okay, go ahead and boot up your Amiga again. Okay, before we get to Workbench, let's go ahead and do some of our basic settings here. This isn't as important at this point, but we might as well get it out of the way. Let's raise our chip to the maximum, 2 megabyte, and we don't want any slow. Then fast, let's go to maximum. CPU, we want 6820 alpha. Turbo, let's do both. I'm going to stay in TSC for now. You can do PAL if you like. I'm going to stay in TSC since my capture hardware likes it better. And then chipset, we want to go with AGA. And we won't worry about scan lines right now. Let's go ahead and save that configuration. Default. Now, let's go ahead and for hard drive, we want primary hard file. And there's that Workbench hard file we made. Yeah, we know we need to go into HD Toolbox and let's reset that. And then we need to go back in and save that because we want that saved with the hard drive image as the hard drive. So let's go save configuration. Okay. Now let's load a disk. Let's put disk 1 install. So that'll boot us to Workbench. Okay, we want to run HD Toolbox, so let's double click install 3.1, HD Tools, HD Toolbox. And this is a goofy program, but just follow along. Okay, we want to make sure that first line is highlighted. Change drive type, define new, reconfiguration, continue. This looks good. Okay. Okay. And let's save changes to drive. And now we need to exit, and let's reset the Turbo Chameleon. Okay, let's go back into HD Toolbox. Oops, HD Tools. And you see it has two partitions showing now. Let's go in HD Toolbox. Seems by default, let's change partition drive. Seems like by default it splits it into two, but that's on U space and that's U space. We want to delete that. And now we want to make this whole partition 1. Let's change this name. I don't like that Y. Let's just make it DH0. We do want it bootable. Yeah, this is fine. It should be good. Click OK. Let's save changes to drive. Yes, we do. And exit. A reboot is required. Yes, that's fine. And there we go. Now we just need to format this. So click once, then go up top, right click, and go down to Format Disk. Let's name this Workbench. Fast File System International, that's all fine. And even quick format should be fine. Format. And there we go. And inside Windows, the HDF file is now a hard drive. It thinks it's a hard drive and it's functionally a hard drive. You have a 2 GB hard drive. And that's where we're going to put our Amiga OS. So let's start that. We can leave install in place and you have the second drive. Go ahead and put Workbench. We're going to be switching disk images throughout. Double click install 3.1. Install. Your language, I'm assuming English. Proceed. Install 3.1. Here it really doesn't matter, but let's go ahead and do expert. This is just going to be a gamer, so we don't need any extra stuff. Install for real, proceed. Yes. English, or if you have another language, proceed. Well, we don't need any printers. Okay, whatever your key map should be. Over here it's American, proceed. Okay, it wants Amiga locale. So let's change. Okay, it wants extras. It wants fonts. Okay, it wants storage. Okay, once Amiga install back in. Okay, and it is installed. Now we need to reboot, so let's proceed and reboot. All right, we don't need those mounted. And here you have it. You have Amiga OS 3.1 installed on a hard drive on your Mini-Mig on your Turbo Chameleon for your Commodore 64. That's going to do it for part 2. Just wrap up one thing. At this point, if you have a battery installed in your Turbo Chameleon, you already have a real-time clock. And didn't really think about that much before, but I decided let me go check, and you know what? Yep, it's in the core. It immediately goes and checks the real-time clock. So That's a pretty nice feature. And if you like this Mini-Make core, and if you like what I'm doing, I ask that you go over to Course for Chameleon on Patreon and show Alistair some love, because he does great work. He's the only one out there who knows the Mini-Make core for the Turbo Chameleon, and he does so much more. But that's about it for this video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to know when part 3 will be dropping. I'll see you in the next.